Good day, global citizens. Welcome to our monthly research webinar. We've had research training for specifically for our research reporters a few months ago, and we delayed our monthly research webinar to get things into place. And this is a platform where not just research meeting understanding and legacy, but for the younger generation to have more interest in the world of research and education. We live in an era where people are discarding education and saying education is scam. We live in an era where people have less interest to read, coupled with artificial intelligence going on. People can just put whatever they want to do in artificial intelligence and it gets the work done. So, for us to amplify global research, especially in the global south, which is publishing less and less and doing less work on scientific research, this is one of the platforms or opportunities for us to work together and raise a younger generation, current and future generations of global citizens that will be interested in research, that will impact research positively, especially from the global south. Um, why I love this organization, especially opportunities like this, is it's a level ground, especially except for few people who are participating, who are like way above us, like our guest researcher, like Professor Dubia. In subsequent meetings, we have other people who are like mentors to us in the world of research. It's for people like me and you, and that's why it's beautiful because I'm not put on a pedestal and I'm not putting you on a pedestal to be the individual with the highest um, H index or whatsoever. And so basically, we are looking at breeding the younger generation of individuals who want to positively impact the world of research and not just about increasing their citation score, increasing whatever that has to do, which is good. It's a good thing as a scientist to have such legacy, but we are looking at people who really want to impact lives, especially in the field of health and improve the well-being of global citizens, not just getting crazy and bothered about, oh, I'm publishing 20 papers this year. That's what you should be about. What impact is it making? Are you just publishing and abandoning it, or are you just doing the work and keeping it somewhere to show that, oh, you are doing the work? So this is one of the avenues for not just you, but also for me to learn. And that's the interesting part. You are not the only learner here. I'm also a learner. So um this is our first monthly webinar. We are starting in June, and subsequently every month we'll be having one guest researcher per month. So for this month, please do me the honor of welcoming Dr. Adewuyi Habeeb Omoponle. Dr. Habeeb, how are you doing, sir?
I'm okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Adewuyi Habeeb Omoponle. Omoponle is my name.
Okay.
Mhm.
Can you put on your video? Is it the settings?
All right,
I
all
know I
right.
did.
I did put it off. Is it on?
Okay, you
Yeah.
can put it off. I wanted to be sure I didn't because I've been playing with the settings. I wanted to be
Thank
sure I didn't do anything wrong with the settings. So before Dr. Abib takes us through the topic for today, let's quickly go through his profile. Let's know who our guest researcher is today. Dr. Abib is a senior postdoctoral research fellow in the Department of Educational Psychology, Faculty of Education, University of Johannesburg, South Africa. He holds a PhD in Educational Psychology and Child Development from the University of Ibadan, Nigeria. where he also earned two master's degrees in educational psychology and in School of Counseling and Public Health. Dr. Adewuyi's research interests span educational psychology, public health, inclusive education, artificial intelligence in education, child development, and adolescent mental health. He has authored and co-authored numerous peer-reviewed articles published in high-impact Scopus and Web of Science index journals. Dr. Adewuyi serves as a peer reviewer for several international journals and has supervised postgraduate students at both master's and doctoral levels. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Adewuyi Habeeb. So I'll give you the floor now, Dr. Habeeb, to tell us about what we are learning from you today and any other information you feel we should know. Please, the floor is yours, sir. You're on mute, sir.
Sorry. Thank you, Mrs. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening,
Very,
sir.
I'm very happy to be here. Like you said, Adewuyi Habib is my name, and I'm here to speak to us on what will be beneficial to all of us about research. Am I going to share from here or you share there? Hello?
Yes, sir, you can share.
Okay. Mm, oh, please. Mm, okay. Sure. Yeah. Can you all see?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Your
good.
screen is visible, sir.
Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah. I'm here to share with us, to discuss with us, because it's going to be an interactive session to discuss with us on a very important aspect of research as early career researcher. So I titled it From Research Idea to Publication, a practical guide for early career researchers in the global south. Here we go. Yeah, I have a roadmap for this session that spans about seven subsections. We have we are going to be explaining research idea, a literature review, methodology or research methodology, writing the paper, the actual deal, journal selection, submission and review, and publication success. Yeah, as a stepping board, research is the bane of all developing and developed nation. Without research, no human community can move forward. That's the basics. That's why you see it's the serious countries, developed countries, they put so much energy into driving the research space in those countries, and it's fundamental to any development. Talk of any development you can count or you can see today is as a result of consistent and intentional research from people that chose to move the society forward, people that chose to bring comfort to the society. They are the ones that are moving us forward. Yeah, because sometimes you have to sit down and think if some people have not sat down to invent this, to invent uh, PCs, laptops, and computers, handphones, Someone has not written a code to invent this Zoom we're using now. How would it be possible for myself and you to communicate ideas to ourselves? So that's telling us the importance of research. And now, research will not be useful or would not be meaningful if it's not felt, if the impact is not felt by the people, by the society. That's the essence of what Madam was saying the other time. Not just about writing useless things, but you writing and the outcome of your writing is getting to the populace, is getting to the policy makers, is being made laws, is advantageous to people, and people are really benefiting from what you research on. Yeah. Now, the first stage are developing a research idea. You see, yeah, I like to mention too, before moving forward, that research is uh, um, is like our Yoruba drum. They say gangan drum. You know, it has two sides. The two sides can never face you at the same time. So you're at one opposite side, some other people at some opposite side. That's one thing I learned about research. Research is complex, it is ubiquitous, it's general, it is multifaceted. Yeah, you approach research from different angle. You understand? So now, but there are some core elements of research that are general. That are general. The essence of research anywhere in the world is to bring about positive impact development to the human populace. Now, why I mentioned that is developing a research idea. To some people, have been blessed to have been mentored by great researchers, different people in different parts of the world. So when you meet different people, the way they approach research differs. But the most important thing is that the outcome is usually the same. Now, developing a research idea. How do we develop a research idea? One thing that I tell my mentees, students, people is what is important to you might be different from what is important to me. What you need at this moment might be different from what I need. The need of your own particular environment at this moment might be water. In my own environment, they've got water, we've got electricity, but they need how to maintain those. So you can see that needs over time are different. So now developing research ideas, I've highlighted some things here. The first thing is observe gaps. What do we mean by research gap? Research gap. No research is 100% in its entirety, and at the same time, you cannot you cannot do everything about research. Everything, no, you can't do everything. You do your bit and you ensure you do it well, and that is why there is always a missing link, a gap, that this research that has been conducted, that I laid my hand upon, has been able to do this, and that, has been able to find out the effectiveness of a particular therapy on adolescents that are suffering, let's say, negative body image. But unfortunately, the therapy was effective, but the gap I found was that the population used were adolescents. In my own sense, I think this research could have better been done on early youth. You understand? You are finding a gap. You are finding a gap from the literature, because the moment the paper has been published, it forms part of the literature. You understand? So to develop research ideas, some of the things you see is you observe the gaps in the previous work, in previous literature. What problem keeps showing up unremarkable upon. That is, what are the real world challenges? That's what I said the whole time. Your own real challenge in your environment. You understand? You are reading literature, or what they did, the literature or the research is coming from a developed world. You understand? And here we are in the global south. Our own challenge is different. So you want to see what is the link, what's the missing link. They did this because they have this. Now we don't have this. That can be a gap. Also, you listen to practice. What are teachers, caregivers, counselors, what are they complaining about in our society? That no, the issue of drug abuse is too much amongst the students these days. That could form your own research idea, not just jumping into something. You know, there's need for your own originality and interest. And also, contextualize globally. What are global debates? What is it saying? What have they said on this? What have they not said? And you localize and establish question. Yes, localization is very important in research, particularly in our part of the world. You know, a lot of works have been done outside the country in the developed world. In our own area, let's calm down. What are the things that are needed? What are the things? That's the reason we will still get there in methodology. Why you need to test some of the developed instruments, or in the layman language questionnaires that they use outside the country. You need to localize them. You understand? You need to bring it down. You need to test. You have a test, retest on people so that you ensure that there is the fit. There's environmental fitness. The languages they use there might be different from what is obtainable here. Now, the three question tests. Before investing your time in any research, you have to ask some three major questions. Is it researchable? Because sometimes you have students that have a topic, they get to the methodology, they get stopped. They have to, yeah, no, the man changed my topic. You have to change your topic. Is it significant? Is it worth it? Does it add value to knowledge or practice in the society? Is it feasible? Is it feasible? Do you have the resources? Like saying now, I want to build uh, an atomic bomb so that Boko Haram people can be dealt with. Do you have the resources as an individual? Those are the questions you need to ask in developing your research idea. Now, we move to the next level. This is literature review. I said literature review done right. Literature review is not just reading, it is argue with the literature. We call that critiquing. You want to critique the literature. You want to ask questions about the literature. What has been done? What has been documented in the past? Now, don't just read and copy. No. From literature to you find gap. Now, if I may ask people with me here, what aspect of research do you find, or what section of research do you find most important? Is it a background or introduction? One. Is it literature? Two. Is it the methodology? Is it the section of for results, or is it the conclusion? I want an answer. Someone should answer that, please.
For me, it's the literature,
Is the literature to
compiling the
someone else?
literature.
Yeah, to someone else, please. What aspect do you find most important? Are people there?
People are there.
They should answer if they are really there. Hmm, no. What aspect
Can you
of
unmute your mic?
okay myself? Oh, them.
No, I'm talking about them
Okay, okay, okay.
because I've been playing with the settings. Can you put something in the chat box if you cannot mute yourself? Or should I unmute you?
Yeah, such a person can raise their hand. Do you have anything to say? It's all right. I'll be waiting while I continue because you have a lot to touch. And here we are. Okay. Yeah. Some school of thought to say is a literature review, because the literature review cuts across. But yeah, yeah, some school of thought said the literature, because from literature review you get your topic. You understand? You have research idea, and you are able to do the literature really. You understand? From literature review, you get the best of methodologies that have been used, and you can know what format to guide your study. But if you have a literature review and you have no good result, have a literature review, you have a good result and you can't discuss it appropriately, there will be problem. Yeah. So it's multifactorial. All aspects of research is of the research is a very good one, but I give I give it to the literature review. Now, the literature review specified some tools that can be used to get our literature review done right. You can use the Google Scholar, you can use the Scopus, the PubMed. There's this ResearchGate on the other hand. Some people use it. Not everybody, because these ones seems to be an higher standard to ResearchGate, but yet it's still very useful, because some researches I might not find elsewhere, people upload it there manually. So you can search for 3 to 5 keywords that will assist you in getting a very good result. Now, identify the gap. In literature, also, you identify gap. You identify what has been documented in the past. You understand? And it is very good. Good journals, they look out for this. You understand? When you review literature and you identify the gap in the past and what you have been able to do now, you can pass. What you are able to do now, they really appreciate it. They value it the most. That no, you are not just copying from the internet, but you are able to have a section that says these and these are what I'm able to do to. Now you synthesize, you don't summarize. This is very important, because when we mark thesis, when we review, do peer review, we see a lot of this. You don't summarize people's work and bring it into yours. No, you synthesize it. You adapt what has been done to your own line of thought, to your own research topic, to your own research idea. You synthesize. Solomon and Folake 2018 found that adolescents between the ages of 15 to 18 are more promiscuous as a result of the fact that they are used to internet, this, and that. You understand? That's what you found in the past. However, what you are talking about is maybe sexually transmitted infection. From the names we mentioned in the past that found this age to be promiscuous, you say that from so person and person, because of the fact they are promiscuous, it implies that their level of sexually transmitted infection is probably going to be high. That means you are synthesizing, not just copying what people have done in the past. Now, I said let's build towards your study. You want to synthesize, you want to adapt people's literature and build it inside your own study, not just copying. That's what reviewers want to see when they ask you to review. And it's very important. Like this is my co-supervisor, my professor here. She flared up with one of our students last week that why would you submit a literature without a theoretical framework? It's very important. You see, some Scopus journals will never take that from you. If a research without you are not anchoring your research, your topic on any theory, no, they won't take it. So if you want to anchor on a theory, you want to synthesize. You can't just copy into your own literature section. Now, that takes us to the next stage, which is choosing and designing your methodology. The method must match the question, not the other way around, not the question matching the method. Now, the methodological aspect of research is the heart. In fact, the way it's located, you can see, is at the center of the research. So it's at the heart. It's the heart of any research. The moment your methodology, you're getting it wrong, no, there's no research. Mm-mm, no research. Just like you permit me to say this in Islamic angle, they say La wudu, La Salata liman la wudu alam. If you don't have ablution, you can't have salah, you can't have prayer. You understand? Without the methodology, there can't be any research. That's why some people query, although you still have methodology, but they believe it's not empirical enough. It's not systematic enough. This literature review as the research. Some people queries it. Now, in choosing and designing your methodology, I've categorized into the three broad major categories of research methodology. We have the qualitative, quantitative, and the mixed methods. You understand? Qualitative. I'm bringing qualitative first because I know people are very familiar with the quantitative. But qualitative is an aspect of research methodology that ask why and how questions. In fact, its relevance, I can say, varies from one region to the other. I'm very familiar with the quantitative research, maybe because our population in Nigeria is so much when I was in Nigeria. You understand? But in this part of the world here, they value qualitative research most. In fact, they take, even for PhD thesis, a qualitative research for as small as 15 persons, 15 interviews. They take qualitative research here. Sometimes when I say, no, this cannot happen in Nigeria. This cannot. My professor in Nigeria will tell you, no, this is what an undergraduate person can do. No, we can't take this. We can't take this. You understand? But you see, the qualitative has some major advantages. It is natural. And it is natural. It is more reliable when you use qualitative researches. It has to do with interviews, focus group discussions. You understand? And stuff like that. You have the phenomenological aspect, and many more. You are able to ask questions. You are able to get to the deep root of issues. Someone that is promiscuous, like I said the other time, you give such an individual a questionnaire, that's quantitative. Hmm? When qualitative ask about why, how, why are you engaged? Because I don't have money. How? They will take me to social places. When I get to school, I go at night. Those are the questions qualitative ask. But the quantitative, how many times have you engaged in so 10 times? How much were you given? So number. You understand? You can spot the difference. But in qualitative, the acceptable, the small purposive samples, you know, purposive sample in quantitative, usually it is the last result in quantitative. You understand? But in qualitative, it is very much alive and is very common. You attack or you address those that are peculiar to your research. So we have a small purposive samples. We have grounded theory, thematic analysis, and IPA. We have interviews, focus group. I've said that, and most importantly, underneath is trustworthiness over reliability. In quantitative, we measure validity and reliability of our skills. But in qualitative, the trustworthiness, the rigor of research should be there. You understand? Ethics, consent giving, and the likes. You have to ensure that I'm not taking one over one, but I'm just saying it the way it decide that it is to me. So I've said many about the quantitative large random samples when you distribute questionnaire to 400 people, 1,600 people. You have surveys, experiment, tests. You have skills and instruments. That's the questionnaire or test. They are all names for questionnaire. Validity and reliability very important. Now the last method is the mixed methods. It combines the qualitative and quantitative. You know, what and why. You understand? What is it the problem and why is it the problem? So this you do the two. After finding out how many people have indulged themselves in promiscuous act, you found 350. You now purposively select maybe 15 or 20 out of them for a qualitative study. That's what the mixed method represent. It combines the both approaches, could be sequential or concurrent. Yes, numbers explain what, word explain why. You understand? Number for quantitative explain what is it the problem, and the words in the probably the thematic analysis with the use of in vivo and the likes will tell you why they are in words, and is the strongest for complex social issue, which is very important to us in the public health. Now we have demystified choosing a topic, finding literature review, and the methodology to be used. Now, it remains writing the journal article. Now, let me begin here. Journal article is different from project writing. Project writing is what we all have passed through. I'm deliberately mentioning this because if you ask someone that has undergone a particular study in the school, maybe a BSc, Masters, or PhD, you have written a whole lot of things as your thesis or dissertation or project. Now, come and write an article of this, out of this. Now, the structure, voice, and the art of knowing what to leave out is very important. You know, like my own PhD thesis there now is about 210 pages. Now, I'm to write an article. Someone that I, something that I suffered for. I wrote for like 4 years to get 200 pages. Now I'm to write an article of just 15, between 15 and 20 pages. Now, is it the introduction I want to leave out? Is it my suffering from one Origo Meje? That's where I got my I don't send my data. You understand? Ushogbo, I did one in Bogotu. Is it the stress I pass through to get this much information? Now I have to reduce them. I have to prune it down. I have to reduce it. It's a whole lot. Now, writing the journal article, I sectionalize it into four to introduction. Now, your introduction, I encourage people here to look for a standard journal outlet first. Two, you look for a well-written article that goes in line with what you're doing. If it's an experimental study that person that you are doing, so you should look for an experimental article that's written in probably a Q1 journal, a very good outlet, a Q1 Scopus based journal. You understand? If you are writing a descriptive study, you are writing a qualitative study, you are writing whichever type of article you are writing, you should look for a sample. We'll still get there somewhere because there is a way you look for articles that you know, no, this is a good article, maybe the citations, where the views, the number of times it's been downloaded, how many years ago has it been published, how many times has it been cited, to get a good article to guide yourself. It's very important. Even in project writing, you get some sample, you learn from others. You learn how to do something by doing, you learn from them. That's the essence of having their work online, not just copying their literature review and the likes. No, you do everything. So now, introduction. Introduction, let me just go through it. Must be very interesting to your readers. Not just interesting, what is very interesting is stories, not story this time. Very important is, and the pattern of flow. It has a way that a journal article will flow that you know no. You use one of those two methods that we all know, the funnel shape, and the funnel can stand like this and it can still stand like this. It depends on whatever way you want to make it stand. So if it's standing like this, you are going from narrow to the broader. And if it's standing opposite like this, it makes from broader, yeah, top bottom now, from broader to the narrow hand. What does that mean? In your introduction, if you're starting from the broader hand, that means you are looking from the global perspective, the international perspective. Yes, one of the papers I wrote yesterday night was on what's it called? And it's difficult to say topics to researchers. They can steal it. Don't steal this, although you can't steal it. I'm almost no. Yeah, I was uh, writing it on bullying victimization, cyber bullying, and the third one. The third construct, I just got to meet it. I've not seen it before, and people have not really written about it. That is the gap in my old paper. You understand? That is the gap in my paper. Yeah, I forgot the third aspect. Now let me quickly check. And mental health outcomes. Come on. Yeah, digital aggression. Now I got it. Digital aggression, the cyberbullying and bullying victimization, they are not the same thing, but they can look to a layman as the same thing. Now, I'm hammering on digital aggression as the gap. I want to blow this digital aggression over others in the paper. You understand? So you write it from the global perspective. What the World Health Organization has said about it, UNICEF said about it, GBD said about it, and the likes. That's from the global. You bring it to in Africa, in probably Nigeria, in your state, in your university. You understand? That's an angle. Or you start from the local. Nigerian Tribune of 20 of February 2026 reported a high rate of bullying that has even led to suicide commission amongst university students. This case in Anambra state of so. This falls in line with the WHO standard of so. That's from narrow to the wider. You understand? Your introduction should be catchy. Should be catchy. Let me not forget to use one of my teachers saying here. He says it about the topic. He says the topic, or let me use it for introduction now, should be very long to cover is like the skirt of a woman. It should be very long to cover the uh, uh, um, um, there's a term he uses for it. The skirt of a woman should be long enough to cover the subject of concern, and it should be short enough to reveal the beauty of that woman. So you interpret it the way you like. You understand? That's what an introduction should look like. Now, the methods. Now, it's as if we are jumping something here. In a journal article, there is no serious energy on literature review. Some weave it into the introduction, some have it as literature review, but it's not going to be as much, you understand, as what we have in project writing. Now, like method, justify every choice. Choice of sampling, choice of methodology. Is it qualitative, is it quantitative, is it mixed method? Why qualitative, why quantitative, why mixed method? Why your sample? Why adolescent? Why not old women? Why not young men alone? You justify it. Why in Ibadan? Why not in Oshobo? Why in Nigeria? Why not in Africa? You understand? You need to justify every choice so that, and at the same time, could someone else replicate this? You should ask yourself, why would someone be able to replicate your study if you have spelled out every aspect of your methodology? Now, results. Your report findings, not interpretation. That's the problem some people have here. You report the findings. I found this, I found this, I found this. The interpretation is different. Tables and figures first, then text second. That's what is obtainable in the high impact journals. Now, discussion of the result. Answer your research questions, link to literature, explain surprise, acknowledge limit. This is very hard. This is very clear. Answer your request, the research question. They want you, you have listed your research questions at the end of your introduction after you've gotten an idea. This is what I want to write upon. Now, if you have three research questions, you answer it one after the other. You discuss them one after the other in the discussion section. And for conclusion, no new information. Summarize, recommend, call for future research. That's what is expected of you in the conclusion section. Yeah, we are going to the next stage now. We have 5 of 7 stages. So, stage 5, you really head into a time, but I'll finish up now. Choosing the right journal. That's why we are here. After you have written your papers, how do I get this paper published? Is it a good one? Is it not good enough? Is it the appropriate one? Is it timely? Is it this? How do we get it published? It's a problem for everybody, even an emeritus professor. Yeah, because you can just send your paper for review to even a small boy and no, this thing is not, is this, and they reject it, and that's no problem. Now, what to check before you submit? Scope alignment. After you have written your paper, after you have gotten your journal article from your project, ensure you see whether this paper you have written aligns with the scope of the journal you want to submit to. Quartile ranking. We have Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. See them. You know, at this stage, we need to be very careful. Someone that's just finishing his first degree, it's very possible to publish in Q1. But at the same time, you need to familiarize yourself with the scope, with the way, with the pattern, with the manners with which they write. So if you are sending to Q1, you are being rejected, you can get discouraged. After sending like two, three, 5 times, you can decide to, okay, let me try this. And if you think you can make it, it's your luck. You understand? Schema Go Web of Science. The impact factor, factor. You need to know what is the impact factor of this journal. So by the impact factor, as higher the impact factor, as sophisticated the journals usually. You want to know that, will I be able to make this? If I want to make this, I need to give very high standard. We have open access policy, the journal, DOHAJ. Those are the things to check. The whole DOHAJ, APC waivers for global south authors. See the publishing outlet that give APC a waiver. That's article processing charges to us. The turnaround time. Some articles we have been there 1.5 years, 2 years, they are still there. Check that as someone that's just coming on. Ash, such a journal article might not be useful to you. Author instruction, are they limiting themselves to upper standard, the word limit, reference type? You need to check all this before submitting. Now, do read 5 published articles in that journal so that you familiarize yourself. Match your abstract to the journal style, email editor if you're uncertain about the scope. And you must not do this. Don't submit to predatory journals. Check bills list. This will, if you want to submit to a journal now, I like this journal, let me submit. Check on this bills list. It will tell you the predatory journal and those that are not. Simultaneous submission to multiple journals is not acceptable. It's ethically wrong. Ignore the journal's word limit. Do not ignore their word limit. If they ask you abstract between 200 and 220, that's what you should stick to. Where the total paper should be 8,000 and 7,000 words, that's what you should do. Now, submission, peer review and revision. All I'm trying to do here is to let us know that if you submit a paper, the judgment is not with you. If they reject your paper, it does not mean totally that your paper is not good. It's just an opportunity to revise your work. I'm saying accept as it is not very common. Minor revision, that's very common. Major revision is also very common. Understand? Reject and resubmit. It's very common. Reject totally is also common, particularly to highly careers. Don't get discouraged. You need to still push after publication. Now, we have said a lot of things about publication. getting good journal, getting good topic, revising literature, methodology, getting how the results, getting a good journal to publish, and now after publication, growing your research career. Now, what do you need to do? You need to have a Google Scholar account. If anybody is here is listening to me and you are not having a Google Scholar account, in NYC camp they say you are wrong. Register for OSHIT. It is free and permanent. Monitor citation, share on ResearchGate and academia.edu. Okay. Build your network. Attend at least one conference per year. Join professional association like we are joining. Be available on LinkedIn and Twitter. Collaborate internationally. Plan your next study. Every paper raises a new question. By the time you are finishing a paper, you should be planning for another one. What is your next logical study? You have gained a lot from reviewing other people's paper. I may not be able to have this in this paper. I'm going to do a paternalistical study next. Advocate for global South voice. This is very important. I don't know if I've been presenting this outside. I may ask that the camera should be off for this, but no, there's no need. I hold nobody no apology for this. Target global South journals and special issues. Review for journals. Cite African scholars. Be a mentor to the next call. It's very important. Those are the ways our own teachers have taught us. You need to be indigenous. Eh? One of our Professor our prof will say, if you don't blow your trumpet, nobody will blow it for you. We need to cite African scholars too. We need to cite them. If we don't cite, who will do? Who will do? How do we drive them forward? Now, the challenges, the reality of the global South researchers. Now our challenges are this, which is there. You understand? And there's nothing that's taking them away anytime soon. But we need to work with those challenges. Number one is limited institutional library access is a huge problem. You won't know until you have an access somewhere. I don't know. I don't want to say too much about that. You won't know it's a huge problem for you until you have access. You have institutional library access, you access the whole world. In your room, you access the whole world. High article processing charges. The global south researchers are facing that kind of problem because there are some Scopus journals that publishes and still take APCs that are high. You understand? There is one submission I made recently. So the article, the charge is about 3 million naira if you convert it to naira. Yes, and it has been paid. Yeah, 1,800 Swiss francs. That was what I paid for this article. Yes, they just published education sciences. If you convert it to naira, it's about 3 million naira. And I say, eh? Yeah, it's even more. Who would give you that? But it's achievable. Go for the ones that doesn't have APCs or apply for a waiver. You can talk to the editor, write them very strongly. I'm from a very poor country and I want a waiver. Underrepresentation in editorial boards. Yes, we are not well represented. English as a second or third language for some other countries that English is not their second language. Power cuts, NEPA issues, connectivity, that's browsing stuff, and load shedding. Fewer sabbatical or writing retreat opportunities. And people does not have serious opportunity to go for sabbaticals. And these are the advantages we have as the global south people, access to under-researched population and context. Yes, the way um, people are researched in the developed world is different from here. To get people to listen to you in the developed world might be difficult because they are over researched. You understand? To get samples that has to do with blood in the public health, it could be difficult there because they even know they are right more than number compared to here. The local knowledge that global north lacks. Growing demand for African and lower and middle income countries' perspectives. That's an advantage for us. When we have write grants, you write proposal as someone from LMIC, you are given some pardons. Rich mixed method and community-based tradition, strong collegial networks. Many funders now specifically seek global South data because they know our data is very rich. Now, 7 mistakes that kill papers before they are published. I'll just mention them: submitting to the wrong journal, method question mismatch, that is, your research question and your methodology, there's a mismatch. they won't publish it. Summarizing literature, not synthesizing. Result section that interprets. I've mentioned all those. Ignoring reviewer comments. Yes, this happened to me. The reviewer comment was too massive. I was on it for like 2 weeks. I just ignored one. The next thing is your paper has been rejected. I almost fainted. It's very important. Don't ignore their comments. Even if you don't know what to do, you can tell them. Or there's a way to appeal. You understand that? This paper, the objective of this paper is this, and this, not this, and this. Predatory journal publication, giving up after first rejection. I told you that. One will be undoing themselves. You'll be undoing yourself if you give up. Don't give up. And these are the resources. These are very important to us. The Google Scholar, PubMed, I've mentioned that. Writing and reference. Zotero, Mendeley, Grammarly, they are free. Harper 7th edition quick guide is free. Academics First Bank of the Manchester United is also free. They are free are resources that we can make use of. The Hajj, Schemago, the Bills list that I mentioned. Identity and visibility. Also, Google Scholar, they are very important. ResearchGate, it should not be without being on those media. And lastly, your research matters. The world needs the knowledge that only your context can produce. Now, as someone in the US, someone in the UK, they don't know the particular problem you are facing in my own Orita Mefa, in my own Agbo, in your own Iwo. You understand? It is you that will bring up the challenge for people to see so that solution can be found to it. Thank you very much for listening, and thank you. I welcome questions.
Thank you so much, Dr. Adewuyi Habeeb. Thank you so much for giving us an excellent presentation. Sincerely, I'm very sure you are an excellent research mentor because of how you've given us an excellent delivery. This is a good starter pack for
Thank you.
everyone who wants to dive into the world of research. And before we dive into the questions, let's quickly look at what Dr. Adewuyi went through. He went through the sections of every publication, which he termed as 7. And we, as most of us here and most of the people in our organization, are people from the global south, who we are looking at the global north, the funding on research coming from the global north to the global south, and you term them as serious country. I believe we are all serious, but our leadership is not serious in terms of research, and gratefully, Nigeria currently is investing a lot. Hopefully it's not audio investment. They're investing a lot in the field of research. They are taking research seriously in 2026.
I say
And
amen.
there is a lot of funding now coming to the world of research. And he also mentioned that research is multifaceted, ubiquitous, and we should which as researchers can approach research differently from different angles, but the deal is we have the same outcome. He also talked about the three test question. Is it researchable? Your research, is it researchable? Is it significant? Are you just what you want to research about? Is it significant to the society? And is it visible? You can have a research, but is it visible? That is the issue. We also talked about the funnel shape from introduction down to discussion. Also, the sketch formula, which I found funny, where he talked about introduction. And if you know about the sketch formula, like revealing a part and not revealing a part, but getting the real idea the researcher is trying to pass across. An interesting part is getting the right journal, which has also been a dilemma for me. And I'm grateful he highlighted that it's a dilemma for everyone, especially with journals that are talking of funding. Especially with journals that are talking of funding, what is being funded and how will it be funded for researchers? Doctor also talked about the ORCID. If you are here and you don't have an ORCID account, ORCID is ORCID. After this webinar, you can go online, ORCID, and try to open an ORCID account and make sure you have it for yourself. And also Google Scholar. These things are free. There are things you are not aware of. And this is why we have platforms like this to help researchers build their research profile. Anyone can go on Google, who is this, who is Rita Dominic, who is Azizat Fajem. They should be able to see something on you on Google Scholar. You can't say you're a researcher and you don't have a Google Scholar account. You can't say you're a researcher and you don't have an ORCID profile. ORCID again is ORCID. He also highlighted we as Global South voices should be advocates for ourselves. No one will advocate for us like we do for ourselves. Sorry, excuse me.
It's
No one
okay.
will advocate for us like we do for ourselves. And one of the ways we advocate for ourselves is by citations, by citing ourselves and making sure that the world is seeing more of our work and also improving our citation score. If we don't cite ourselves, the world will not know about our work, they will not see our work, they will not recommend our work, and will not be cited by other global citizens. Lastly, we talked about APCs, which has also been a dilemma for me. And he also talked about seeking for waivers or going to journals that don't need APCs. What is APC? Application processing charge. I guess that's what it is. Application processing
Article,
charge.
article processing charges.
Article. Yeah, article processing charge to process your publication for it to be published. So not all of us can. He talked about 3 million. Some it's even more than that. So one thing with the research world is you go for what you can do and what you can afford. If you cannot afford, if you're a young researcher like me, you go for you seek for waivers. It might take time for them to publish your paper, but the fact that it's accepted, it will be published. And if you have the money, you can go for journals that are seeking for you to pay before they publish your work. Also, you can also, this is where teamwork comes in. Your team of friends, your team of colleagues, putting your funds together to publish a specific paper. If you feel that, okay, this is good and it might take time for it to get published, if you're waiting for a waiver, you can do that. You can come together to put the money together for it to be published. So thank you once again, Dr. Adewuyi Habeeb, for an excellent delivery. I'm sure everyone, because this will later go to social media platforms. I'm sure anyone that will come across this will gain significantly from this lecture. Dr. Adewuyi, one thing you mentioned about is predictory journals, and sometimes some people, I know you said there is a list of predictory journals, but this is something that even people who have, some people, let me put it like that, some people who are publishing don't even know the difference. They know that they are just publishing. Some people don't know the difference between predictory journal and non-predictory journals, and some people are not even patient enough. They're like, let me just have a publication. What is the impact? Because some people are like, okay, they are predictory, journal is journal. I just want to publish my work. What is the impact of a researcher publishing in a predictory journal to the individual and the society?
Yeah, thank you very much. Before I move on, I want to thank everybody in attendance. Most especially, I'm seeing one of my guys here, Professor K.O. Moreno. I know he must have joined because I posted this stuff. Is my very good guy. He's a down to earth researcher. He taught me research. I can fully say that. Yes, when I was trying to mention a name the other time, I know he must not have wanted to interrupt me. He must have helped me to mention Professor Adeyemo the other time. That's whom I'm trying to refer to. That if we fail to blow our trumpet, who blew it for us? And that's exactly what I'm doing now. Yeah, Elizabeth, thank you. Yeah, predatory journals. It's a serious thing in the global south. There are journals that are not accredited. There are journals that are not reckoned with in the world of research. There are journals that are not after quality, but they are after quantity and they are after your money, usually. There are journals that are not after what you put into your research, how good, how reasonable it is, how impactful it is. They don't want to know. But this journal, it pays 100,000 naira. The moment they get 100,000, they help you. They take it from you and they publish for you. So these kind of journals are not good. They are not good. At this small level, you can be thinking, "Ah, I'm sure having this, I'm sure having." No, when you get into the show, they prune it down, they trim it down. They don't count it as any journal. Yeah, it has affected a lot. Yes, but I always believe, like this, my guy will say, it's good to start from somewhere. But start from a good place. You understand? Predatory journals, they are the journals that will send to you. Hello, do you have a journal to publish? They are very common in India. I don't know if they will not arrest me. It's very common in India. You understand? They will tell you, is this? In Naira, it is 30,000. Very ridiculous amount, they will tell you. They'll take it from you and you find your nonsense online. And very soon, if you grow, you told this line and you grow bigger, say, hey, am I the one that write this? No, I need to bring this down. This is poor. You copy people's work and they will still publish it. Those are predatory journals. But on the other side, the other journals, the internationally recognized journals, they are not after that. They review. Yes, one thing you can take from predatory and good journals is that predatory, they don't review, thorough review. Good journals, they review thoroughly. It can take back and forth. That's why it takes 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. You understand? Those Elsevier, Tilon Francis, and the likes. That is it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor. So are you saying, let's say I grow into a professor someday and I've published like two or three journals in a projection journal. Are you saying it has an effect on my image as an academic professional, or it has no effect at all? Like,
It does have an effect. Now, let's take it home before I use my own as an example. In Nigeria, before you become a professor, you are expected to have published a number of papers over the years. Now, you have been employed as a senior lecturer now. You want to move to the next stage, associate professor. So they expect that if for the period of 3 years you might be spending as a senior lecturer, you have published about 6, 7 papers now before you can get promoted. And at that level, they want to send your papers outside. The person that took it from you, your head of department, maybe is a predatory person too, just got it from you and send your papers to the outside world. Even if they send to someone like me in Nigeria, I know, no, 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 this paper does not have quality. They check it and they prune it out, they remove it. You need 6 papers to become an associate professor. You dropped 8. Now I'm pruning 5 out of your 8. It remains 3. That means you are not going for associate professorship. You understand? So the other one too, in the long run, when you see that this kind of paper misrepresents you, you can bring it down on your Google Scholar. I wouldn't want, but it's a learning process anyway. Just like my first degree project. If I see, I'm sure my daughter sees it and is, Daddy, you're the one that wrote this. Everyone will laugh about it. So if you think it will be misrepresenting, you can put it down. And in the outside world, it affects you. So when I got an offer elsewhere, I had to submit the number of papers I had. You understand? I have like 25 papers, Well, thank God that I started somewhere. The number of papers are predatory, the local journals, they are not online. Take, for instance, you find your paper online, you can't find it. Those are not good things. That's not a good thing at all. That's not a good thing. Yeah, thank you.
thank you so much, Doctor, for answering that question excellently. For anyone who doesn't know a prediction journal, or anyone who looks at who feels all journals are the same and they are not resilient enough to publish in a non-predictive journal. Thank you so much once again, and let's welcome the presence of Prof. Professor Morino. I saw the name in the chat box. I was like, okay, I'll wait for Dr. Habeeb to introduce because I don't know who he is. Thank you so much, Dr. K.O. Morino, for joining us today. Prof, do you have one or two things to share with us?
Yes, thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
bro.
sir, you're audible.
You're welcome, bro.
Yeah, thank you very much, our dear Professor Habib. I really enjoyed the presentation, and
Thank
even
you.
myself at my end, I'm trying to jot things down because in research, you cannot know it all. And as it has said, that the problem in Africa is more of how to fund research. But at the same time, we are not also ready to conduct a quality research. I could remember about 4 years ago, I published an article, and even the publishing house also paid me for publishing a paper. So now we also have an association recently, which we call the Association of Muslim Counselors, whereby we have approached some foreign journals, and they promise us that if we have any author who has actually written a quality paper, they are ready to publish a paper or article free of charge and at the same time pay the writer. So the implication is that as a researcher, we should try as much as possible to always conduct quality research, because the era of the use of artificial intelligence has actually bastardized the system of research. So, and at the same time, I want to say that we should always look towards three qualities in the journal that we want to publish in. Number one, we should look at the university based. Are they based in any particular university? And secondly, we should also look at association based. Are they for association of maybe educational evaluation or educational counseling or what have you, based on your association? And the last one is that particular journal indexed in a particular agencies, like we talk of Scopus, and in South Africa, you'll be talking of,
You
HEIC,
had. You had.
which are accredited agencies responsible for the approval of a quality journal. So by implication, the researchers should try as much as possible to tailor themselves in a particular areas of specialization, not just be writing anything. If I'm into area of marital counseling, all my write-up should base on marital counseling. If I'm into areas of educational sciences, let your write-up, let them know you in that particular field, and you publish in that area. So most of the time, these particular predatories, they are many, and the young researchers always fall into their cloud due to the fact that most of the time they publish very quickly. They are not too rigor in terms of quality. Just bring anything within 2 3 days, your paper will be published, even without any review. So, and then the last one I also want to call our attention to is the issue of what we call clone journal. A clone journal pretend to be original, but they are fake. They are not fake because you will not see them on the internet. Just for instance, we have Professor Habeeb Adewuyi here. I may also have a particular number. I will now register that particular number with the same Adewuyi Habeeb. So by implication, maybe Adewuyi Habeeb, his own spelling is A-B-E-E-B, Habib. But my home, by the time I want to clone that particular name, because I know people are looking for Habib here and there and what have you, I will now mention my name, my own as maybe underscore Habib, or maybe at Habib, or maybe I will add H to my own name. So people will be looking for the original Habib, but on the internet, they will be falling into my own trap as a fake Habib. So the researchers may not know this. They will just go online and say, okay, this is Habib Journal International. And the real Habib Journal do not have underscore, but my own fake Habib Journal has underscore. So by implication, you need to be very careful and identify some of these predatories. They don't have any area of specialization. If you bring journal in science, in agric, in anything, they publish it easily and quickly because they are only interested in your money. So I really appreciate this platform because it is more enlightening, and then we have learned a lot. May God Almighty be with every one of you. Thank you very much, and God bless
Thank
you
you.
all.
Thank you, bro. Thank you so much. We are much appreciated.
Thank you so much, Professor Moraina. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us. You reinforced what we learned from Dr. Habeeb Adewuyi. Thank you so much, Prof. Um, Global citizens, we've learned a lot today. I don't know if you have your questions. I've tried to answer some in the chat box. Please, if you have questions, unmute yourself and ask your question. If you have a question to Dr. Habeeb, no question.
Yeah, that means everything is fine.
It's
Yeah,
that good
good
to be
evening.
sincere. It's very simplified. Yes?
Yeah, good evening. I don't think the chat button is working from my end, and which maybe it's also applicable to others. So generally, well done, Miss Dr. Habib.
Okay, let's round up then. If there is no one with any questions, if you have any question, you can forward it to firstecosystem@gmail.com. Then we forward it to Dr. Habeeb specifically. We agree to use 1 hour, and we are past 1 hour. Global citizens, without further ado, we don't want to waste Dr. Habib's time waiting for more questions. If there is none, it's a very simple presentation. One of the presentations I've enjoyed intensely in recent time. Thank you so much, Dr. Habib, for sharing your expertise with us, for sharing your time with us, for gracing us with your presence. We look forward to future sessions. Hopefully you accept our invite. We understand the world of academia, that it's a very busy sector. Thank you so much for gracing us with your expertise. As global citizens, thank you for attending. The slides, we're going to get the slides from Dr. Habeeb, and also the presentation will be on social media. We're going to share the link with you so that you can have access to it and watch it and review and revise as many times as you need to. This is a platform where research meets understanding and legacy, and we'll keep improving ourselves. As I said at the beginning, no one is on a pedestal except for people like Dr. Dubia, Professor Habeeb, Professor Moraino that graced us with his presence. Those are people on the pedestals, they are our mentors. The rest of us, we are mentees. So, and maybe anyone that is in a participant that we don't know about. We're trying to build a research profile and also make significant impact in the world of research. So have a blessed week, everyone. Yes, and thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Bye bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.